Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife. Find ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm going to continue working in my December daily album. I am woefully behind in this album. I'm quickly losing steam, but I want to keep going. So I have gone through day 10 and I have a few more pictures pulled out ready to go. So I'm going to just bring you guys along as I continue documenting it, keeping it simple and quick to get this project done. I will link everything that I end up using in the comments below. Otherwise, let's go. All right, so I'll be honest and let you know I am really losing steam for this project. This is how it goes. If I don't finish it in the month of December, or at least super close to the month of December, I just lose interest, and that is definitely where I'm at now. So I think I am definitely in what I would call speed scrapping mode. So I'm getting my pictures and basically I'm just getting them on the page and telling the quick story and moving on because I'm ready to document more current times. So I'm starting with this picture. This is a picture of my daughter at Girl Scouts. I am her Girl Scout leader. And if you missed some of my other December daily videos, instead of documenting what we do each day, I'm attempting to more so document traditions. And so one tradition we have in Girl Scouts is we have a Christmas party each year where the girls do crafts, Christmas crafts. We have snacks and things like that. And so I was documenting our traditional Girl Scout Christmas party that I did a lot of the crafting and things for. So for this picture, I got an up close picture of her, and I'm gonna just do some really easy ripped layers. This is a really simple way to add a lot of interest to a picture, add some texture to the picture without having to use a lot of different elements. So I'm just ripping paper. I like to see the white of the paper, so I rip towards me so I can get that white edge to all the paper, and I'm just layering some different colors behind it just to bring a little bit more interest. This is a pretty large picture for the size of the page. I think I ended up cutting down the picture to 3.5 by 3.5 just so I would have a little bit more room, but I'm just using, you can see some different scraps I had pulled out, all about the ripping and combining those elements, just a little bit of adhesive, and you can see it's just little pieces kind of sticking out, but that adds a lot of fun and a lot of interest. I wanted to bring in a little bit of green because obviously there's so much green in her Girl Scout dress. So I'm flipping through the book and I find some green paper that I'm going to tear out and use just to add little pops of that bright green because again, it kind of brings in her Girl Scout outfit. So I think it makes it fit together. And this one, I'm not even going to do very much journaling at all. I'm just adding all of these layers. I'll put the picture down and then some simple stamping, which is something that I haven't done a lot of actually in my December daily album so far. Please excuse any sneezing you hear in the background. Now my old dog Penny just walked in the room and she is a sneezing machine and she's getting comfortable on the couch. So I'm using a couple different stamp sets, or I have a couple different stamp sets pulled out from Felicity Jane, and I will stamp this one Traditions, and then within the same stamp set there is also this fun star cluster that I thought would be fun to kind of stamp in the background so that I had a little bit more interest coming out from behind the photo. So I just realized I hadn't even taken this out yet. This is the kind of speed I'm wanting to work with. Like I'm wanting to get this project done. So in this video, I'm going to document 11 through 14. I think this will be my last video of a process for December daily. And then after this, hopefully I will finish up the project in the next couple of weeks, and then I will share a flip through once it's all done. All right, so last thing for this page is to add the number. I'm going to use some Felicity Jane numbers, 11, and now I'm ready to move on to my next page. All right, the next story to document is this group of wonderful ladies. So one of my friends hosts a gift wrapping party every year. And so we have a great time. We all get together, we exchange white elephant presents, we bring all of the presents that we need to wrap, and we kind of just spread out in her living room and get all of our wrapping done. We share food and drinks, and it's a lot of fun. And so I wanted to document that story because that is kind of a newer tradition for me. So I think this is the second year we've done it, maybe the third year. I think the third year. I think this was a pre-COVID thing that happened, and then we did figure out how to do it a little bit during 2020. We'll see. I don't know, second or third year, but I definitely wanted to document. So have our big group selfie. And then I found this long bookmark tag that's from, again, Vicki Booten. I'm using her Warm Wishes line as my primary paper line for this project. And so there's this long tag that has lots of room for journaling so I can tell the story. I'm going to make my picture a pocket, meaning that I can put adhesive on 3 sides and then I'll be able to kind of stick that tag in there. And now I have this extra piece of paper that has all of these beautiful ornaments, and I'm going to use those to embellish. So I'm just going to quickly cut them out, and then I will be kind of scattering them around the page to add some extra interest. I think one of my favorite ways to get the most out of my supplies is to cut up papers like this that so obviously kind of lend themselves to ephemera, because you could get by with a 12 by 12 paper pack that has some cards, some pages like this that you can use to layer, and you can really make your supplies go a long way without having to buy every piece of a particular scrapbooking line. Again, this is going to be another pretty simple page, so I'm just going to trim off the edges. I will write out my journaling for the page, clip that in or kind of put it in the pocket, and then the last thing I want to do is add a number just like before. I'm numbering all the pages. Again, it's not necessarily what happened on that particular day, but it's traditions that I'm documenting for this Christmas, and some of them align with the days. It kind of helps me keep track of where I am, so it's kind of interesting to kind of go back and forth between what the number is meaning. So looking for the number, I'm definitely running out of 1s and 2s. So it's getting a little crazy because I didn't buy all my numbers separately. Normally for December Daily, you can buy packages of numbers that are 1 through 25 or 1 through 30 to help you document. I didn't do that this year because I was trying to use my stash, but I'm definitely running low on 1s and 2s. All right, on to day 13. This is interesting because this is a photo that was taken on the 13th. I went and got my haircut and was taking a picture of the new haircut, but I'm using that photo to talk about a different tradition or a different thing that happens in December, and that is shopping. So I doubt that I'm the only mom or the only wife that ends up doing all of the shopping. I am in charge of seemingly all of the gifts for all of the family, and my husband is in charge of my gifts. And so shopping is a big part of December. It ends up being really stressful. I shop in advance. I start shopping in November, and I usually have a lot of it done, but it feels like there is always someone else that is coming up on the shopping list, like a group of people I forgot about, a person I forgot about, a present that I forgot about. And so I feel like the whole month of December is me constantly shopping. And so I just wanted to document what that felt like. So I have a pocket page here. It's 2 3x4 cards on the top, and then the bottom I'll do a 4x6 journaling card. And the journaling card actually says Dear Santa, and I'm not really wanting it to be that. So I'm using some different ephemera pieces to cover it up. So I want to put shopping list right there. That's definitely going to go there. And then at the bottom, it's kind of off screen, but it says the word love, and I want to cover that up also because I want to journal, and eventually I'm going to find a garland that I'll be able to use to kind of put on the bottom that will work really well for covering up that word. But you can see I'm just kind of looking to see what I got, going through my whole stash. There it is, sweet little garland that'll kind of adorn the bottom and cover up the word love, and I'll still have plenty of journaling room to tell the story of the never-ending shopping. And I will just put on that top card, I'll put the kind of categories of people that I'm shopping for, or at least some of them, and then kind of write out the story on the bottom card. I do like this about December Daily in that you can tell whatever story you want to tell. It doesn't have to be something that happened on that day. It doesn't even have to be something that happened that particular year. You might be sharing some different categories of things. You might be sharing some of your favorite Christmas memories. There's no rules. It's just a documenting project for the month of December, a closer look at that particular month. And I think that is a lot of fun. And I know that my kids have really liked looking back on the different years that I've done December Daily. So it is a nice tradition, even though at this point I'm a little bit tired of this particular year just because I fell so far behind that I got a little frustrated. All right, last thing for this set of pockets is to add a number right here. This will be lucky number 13. I was out of ones, so I'm trimming down the letter T so that it can be a 1, and I am all set to go. So I'll put those in and then take my attention to the back side of this page where I will document our favorite tradition of going to see Christmas lights. We pick one night every December to get in our pajamas. We go by Chick-fil-A and get some shakes. I like the peppermint shake, but my kids kind of go classic with the chocolate and vanilla shakes. And then we go look at Christmas lights. And usually we just drive through neighborhoods and check out some local light displays. On this year, we actually went to a full-on light display in Manassas, and it was a lot of fun. You pay for your car to go in, and then you drive through, and it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. So I want to document that. I didn't get a great picture of my kids because they were all being silly because they were super hyped up, but that's okay. So for this particular page, it's a pocket page. It's the back of that other one. So it's 2 3x4s on the top and a 4x6 on the bottom. I didn't want it to have the feel of a pocket page. I wanted it to feel like a whole 6x8 page. So what I did was take the same scrapbook paper and cut it into the different sizes, but where the patterns would meet up. And I'm going to decorate it as if it were one page, and then I can cut it apart and it'll still work in the back of that pocket, but it'll give a different feel than a typical pocket page. All right, so I'm grabbing that same ornament paper and using it to trim out some different ornaments. Because it wasn't a great photo, I decided that what I wanted to do was divide up the photo, and I was going to use these as kind of rough estimates of these different circle sizes. And I end up with some wonky circles. That's okay, it happens. So I'm doing some wonky circles, but the picture will be in the middle of an ornament. And I think that that's a new and interesting way, at least in my album this year, to do it. I have so many rectangles and 3x4 cards and things like that, that it's nice to change up the shape of what I'm working with. So that's what I'm doing here, is just cutting down this photo. You're still going to get all of the important people in the photo. You're still going to be able to kind of tell what's going on. But I have my kiddos in their little separate ornaments, which is nice. So I'll mount those on those ornaments, and then I'll end up finding a few more that I want to kind of scatter across the page. Once I start getting these on the page, I'm also able to find a really sweet journaling card that I can cut down and use on the top, and that's where I will write out what this event was. But you can see I'm making the most out of this paper. Like, it's giving me that feel of the fun ornaments, but I'm changing up the background, bringing in some of that gingham that I really love for the Christmas season, a beautiful spirit, and getting all of these down. And it's a fun page. You can see how it's divided up, but it still kind of has the feel of a whole big 6x8 page, which turned out really well. So getting everything down in place little by little. Let me know below if you are still working on your December daily. I know some of you have told me in the past that you're actually still working on December dailies from past years, which is totally fine. Like, we all have our different styles of scrapbooking. I know my personality, and I know that I like to stay more on top of it, and it's harder for me to go backwards and document. And I'll be totally honest, I kind of just want to put away the Christmas things in my craft room, like all of the Christmas scrapbooking items. I'd like to put them away and feel a little bit more fresh and new in the craft room. So that's probably another reason that I'm a little bit over December daily this year. All right, to really drive home the fact that this is supposed to be one complete spread, I will have this ornament that's kind of going to go between the two pages right there. So I just attached it to one, and then I will cut off the edge and adhere that to the other side, making sure it lines up really clearly, and that way it'll feel more like one full spread. Next thing to do, just trim off some of the extras. I always love having pieces hang off the page. I think it adds, it just feels like the page keeps going, which I think is nice. And now I'm just looking for a sentiment that can go at the bottom. That one is a little bit too big. It's just taking up a lot of room. This one will be perfect because I think it kind of describes the look on my son Austin's face with his shake. He was super excited for his shake. So I'll use that one, Joy, right there. And then at the top, I'm going to put some puffy stickers that are in that same writing, and it says love this. and that is also where the number will go at the end. The numbers I'm using are actually white, and because there are white stars, I kind of felt like the numbers got lost, so I just pulled out a pen and I'm going to just outline it in black just so that the number 14 pops a little bit more. I'm just trying to be really careful to not write over the top of the number, but see, it pops a little bit more, which is nice. And then I can just go and add my journaling about what we did on this particular day and about how this is a tradition that we really look forward to every year. The last step will be getting these cards back into the pockets. Now, when you have two different cards that are back to back in a pocket, I do like to adhere them together or else they kind of shift around and you can see both cards and it looks kind of funky. So I like to adhere them and make sure it's trimmed and lined up really nicely before I put it in the pocket for good. And that is going to be it for this December daily process. Thanks for hanging in with me working through December daily. I will probably just finish up this project on my own and hopefully I'll be able to show you a final product in a couple weeks. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. As always, I will link the supplies that I use down below, including the photo printer that I use to print my photos at home. I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for all of your support. I really appreciate it. It helps make this channel possible. If you want to find out some of the perks that you can receive as a patron, then you can check out the link to my Patreon page over in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.